Hey, everybody, welcome back to another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you are watching us on our YouTube channel, it's Tar Heel Illustrated. On Facebook, that's Tar Heel Illustrated. Or if you're getting to this podcast, finding it through Twitter, that is through @Heel Illustrated. No S in the middle, @Heel Illustrated. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and joining me is our director of football recruiting. She's been in the business a long time, Miss Deana King. And for today's topic on the Daily Drop, I wanted to know a couple of things about Deana's experiences in this business. And I think you guys are really going to find this interesting. And that's the purpose of the Daily Drop. All kinds of ways we could approach it with current news, historic stuff, our experiences that we've had. And the fact that I asked Deana to pick out her 3 most interesting recruitments that she covered of Tar Heel kids, and she came up with it. Quinshad Davis, Chaz Surratt, and Travis Shaw. So, Deana, why did Quinshad Davis make this list for you?
Well, this recruitment was before you joined THI. I've been with Rivals, oh Lord, since it started basically, and I've always
22nd year now. Are you in your 22nd year?
I don't know. It seems like it started around 98 or something, but I'm thinking it's been about 25.
Okay,
not sure.
I'm learning something as we do this. Go ahead. So why Quinshad? You've told me some stuff about this before, but I'm going to get the full story, and everybody else will too.
Well, Quinshad out of Gaffney, South Carolina, really big time program. He was a big time wide receiver. Had North Carolina, Tennessee, and Wake Forest as his final 3 schools. And I always consider myself a Rivals Network person. I actually was going that day. It was on National Signing Day. And I have a really good relationship with Mallard Creek High School. They invited me down. They were like 15, 16 kids going to sign, all different levels. And there was one kid, Jayla Duncan, who was a running back for them, was going to commit between Duke and Wake Forest. And I was helping fellow THI publisher Adam Powell and the Duke publisher Brian McLonghorn by covering that. So, I went down there and covered that. He picked Duke. But there was also Quinshad hadn't decided, and he was like one of the highest rated kids that hadn't decided yet. And since Gaffney wasn't too far from Charlotte, I just decided to go on down there and help Adam out, because Adam also did the Wake Forest site. So, North Carolina and Wake Forest were 2 of the finalists, as well as Tennessee. Well, I get there at Gaffney, and he's going to be announcing in front of the whole student body. And, this is way before I've gotten a lot better at what I'm doing. So I had my little iPhone, and I was going to live stream it. Well, I live streamed it, and later on I read people's comments. It said it looked like that documentary that was out in the woods, that was shaking. And
Bigfoot, like searching for Bigfoot?
Well, was it I can't even remember what it was, but anyway.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Blair Witch Project or something?
Yeah. That was a regular show. It was a long time ago.
I was trying to do my best because back then, there wasn't.
Deana, that's digging in the past right there.
There was not much, the technologies in live streaming has gotten so much better now. But wasn't Quinshad 2011? What year was that? Well, it was several years ago. But I was there, and I was standing.
15 was his last year, right?
I'm not sure, but anyway, I was there, and I was standing with my little iPhone right in front of him and everything. And they had a little celebration of signees too, and he was the last one. And so I had started that live stream, and it got up to like over, and I thought it was a huge deal now, but there was over 1,000 people watching this on my little through my iPhone. And nobody, I don't think anybody knew where he was going to pick. And so he committed to North Carolina. There wasn't a lot of media people there. I think Paul Stralo was there. He's the only one that I recognized at that time. So he committed to North Carolina. And I will never forget, I was standing right there and he picked up the phone and he called Coach Fedora. And he's like, "Hey, Coach Fedora, this is Kid Shaw Davis, and I'm a Tar Heel." And was just laughing and carrying
Wasn't
on.
he Larry's first commit? So it'd be 12, 13, 14, 15. Because he was Larry's first commit, I think, wasn't he?
I'm not sure about, he was
I'm not sure.
one
I
of
have to
his
go back.
high profile kids.
I'll have to go back and look. And that's one of the things about the Daily Drop. That's one of the things about the Daily Drop. We just have general conversations here about some stuff. And I didn't think we'd go that far with Quinshot. So I'll have to go back and look it up.
Well,
I know that Larry told a story about getting a phone call from Quinshot. I know Larry told a story about that and about how he yelled real loud. And I think his wife,
well, that's what I was
like, "You okay,
remembering,
hon?"
because I was there when that happened, and they actually were doing the UNC football recruiting thing that the day they do on signing day. He was having his show, and when I got back home, I went back and watched it, and the guys that were doing the signing day shows like, "Oh, Coach Fedora's just got some good news. We hear a lot of holler in the background." So that was the Quinn Shot
my stories
little
mixed up, but yeah.
thing. So that stuck out because just all that going on with me starting out with the and being there in person to see that. So that
How
was
about
Quinn
Chaz
Shot.
Surratt? I remember Chaz because let me tell my side of the story first. All right. So, a lot of people may not know, I rarely take days off. I rarely get a chance to get away. So this was in 16, right? 2016? Yeah, I think it was in the summer of 2016. My wife, daughter, and I are getting ready to get in the car. We're going to Baltimore, go see the Orioles play and do we're going to go up to New York City as well. And they had never been there before. And you call me at like 7:00 in the morning. And Andrew, Tar Heel's going to get Chaz Surratt. He's come in. So he told Cutcliffe, and Cutcliffe got upset. And at least he did have courtesy of telling him because he's going to flip from his commitment. And then Carolina. So we had that thing out at 7:30, 7:20 in the morning. And you were beaming because you had a good connection to Chaz, and that was such a great pickup for Carolina on so many levels. And so actually, this is one where I can remember that, hey, I remember the immediacy of it, the fact that I'm loading the car and I've got to tell my wife, "Hold on, hon, breaking news," which you'd think she'd be used to. It would have been by then. So I get that look from her, and my daughter's whining and complaining, and she's 7 at the time, or almost 7. And I go in there and I bang it all out. We rock with Chaz Surratt at 7:30 in the morning when they're with a pissed off David Cutcliffe somewhere in Durham.
Yeah, of course, the Surratt boys, both of them, Chaz and Sage, covering both of them started really early because I was first introduced to Chaz his freshman year. And, of course, Sage was an 8th grader and everything. So their parents become really good friends with Kevin and Brandy, and still good friends with them. And, I can sit back and laugh at all the things that went through all their recruitment. But, he was a big Carolina fan. And he, back then, Carolina was Coach Heckendorf was recruiting him really heavily. And I know Logan Bird was another target that Carolina was going to, I guess, sign too, because they kind of wanted Chaz to commit before he was just really ready to commit. So they took Logan Bird's commit, and wasn't a few weeks later, then Chaz committed to Duke. And then Carolina kept on him. Coach Heckendorf, he kept on to Chaz and everything. And so, like you said, early one morning, I get a phone call from Chaz's mom, Brandy, and she's like, "Deana, Chaz is going to flip to North Carolina." Says, "We're on the phone with, getting ready to call Cutcliffe right now. Thought you would like to know so y'all can get your story ready. And so when we got off the phone with her, that's when I called you and was like, all right, we got to do the Chinese fire drill. We got to do the recruitment pieces and stuff. So that was, a unique uh, commitment because, we put it out really early and we had people saying, oh, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. You always have your naysayers. And I'm like, I got it straight from the horse's mouth that was going down.
Well,
They just said,
yeah,
give us some time to tell Coach Cutcliffe, and then you're free to go ahead and post it.
and we did. Okay, the third recruitment we're going to hit on here on this edition of the Daily Drop here at Tar Heel Illustrated is Travis Shaw. Not too long ago, and I remember it was like 647 degrees that day. Jacob did a great setting the scene video that day. Really a phenomenal job. And I remember you sitting out there waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're texting me, Andrew, it's hot as blazes out here. Wish boy just go ahead and make his announcement. And he did in front of a lot of people and on a towel blotting himself off. So why don't you take us through the Travis Shaw announcement?
I picked Travis because
and why this was on the list.
Yeah, I picked Travis because he was a 5-star. He was, the most talked about recruit for North Carolina status wise since Elijah Hood was the last, big time kid that everybody talked. And he was a home state kid. So there was just so much, on him being from Greensboro and an in-state kid, and the pressure of Mac trying to keep Travis from the national powers of Georgia and Clemson, trying to keep him in state. And I got to know Travis a lot, and I just sometimes you have your gut instinct that a kid is going to pick a school, and I always maintain that North Carolina was in a great spot to land Travis because just Travis's disposition. He loved his community. He loves his city. I mean, he's right now he's involved with a lot of community service things, raising food drive for people for food and everything. So he wanted to make a difference in his state and his community. So I just those kind of things when he kept talking about doing for his community and he's sitting there, I just thought, man, Carolina has a great shot, and they did. They, he was at Carolina multiple times and everything, and so they ultimately got the commitment. And for that day, anybody that knows me knows that I'm early bird. I get there before everything, I am. And I had to sit out there. And after that, I told Travis, you picked the hottest day in North Carolina to commit, because he did it outside in Jameson Stadium. And as you said, Jacob did a great video leading up. And I mean, the sweat was just boiling off of everybody. He had a towel. I mean, they were doing it live, so it seemed like it took 30 minutes for him just to say, I've decided to stay home and play for North Carolina, because it was being live streamed and everything. But that sticks out too, because, him being the stature of him, being a 5-star in-state kid, and basically, the one that Mac had to get out of the state and beating the Clemson and the Georgias of the world. So it made a statement for Coach Brown, and that's why I picked that one.
Well, you made a statement too by having better technology for that one, because you streamed that one better than the Quinshot Davis one. I can assure you that.
Yeah, but it was hard.
So there was a streaming upgrade for you.
Well, I had stood up so long. I had to get Coach Darrell Brown at Greensley, asked him to get me a chair, because it was hot and standing up there, and you know, he had a humongous crowd that came out.
Yeah.
A lot of his teammates in the community. B Dot was there. The sound at the Carolina basketball game. He was there. You probably could hear him on the live stream too. He got the crowd saying Travis, Travis, Travis. So
He's
I
got a
mean,
lot.
it was a
That
big
dude's
deal
got a
in
lot of energy.
Greensboro.
Absolutely. So Quinshaw Davis, Chaz Surratt, Travis Shaw are your three most
Football.
interesting
That's
recruitments.
the football. That's the
But
football version. I might have to
one
do
of
a
these,
basketball version.
one of the, yeah, but you see, we can't really do the Zion Williamson story on a North Carolina podcast. So
Yeah, I know.
that was a crazy one. Well, anyway, good stuff. This is part of what we do in the Daily Drop, just kind of hit some different angles we don't normally pop out. And so that's a lot of fun. I need to find that Quinshot stream somewhere and check that out. That'd be a lot of fun. Hey, just remember, everybody, if you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We update a ton. We're pushing to get to 16,000 subscribers by the start of football practice in August. Jacob says 15. I'm saying the hell with that. 16. Let's try to get to 16,000. So if you know any Carolina friends that aren't familiar with us, let them know who we are, about our channel and our site. TarHeelIllustrated.com, just $8.33 a month, and you can be a Tar Heel insider too. So much of what we have on our premium boards and premium content never makes its way to these podcasts. So make sure you hop on over there. It's just the price of a drive-through meal once a month, or buying Jacob and me a beer or two once a month, or whatever you look at it. One of those whacked out coffees at a Starbucks or something like that. That's it. And you get us for a full month every month for that price. So make sure you go on over there and hop on board and be a part of the THI community. For Deana King, I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.